Welcome back to our shooting and recruiting series where we bring you our expert knowledge and advice in the market to assist you guys, be it our candidates, clients, or our general PX community. Now, last tip and trick, we brought to you a common interview question: how to answer, tell me a little bit about yourself. Now, we've had an overwhelming response of our community asking for advice on interview questions. So this week we are going to bring you a second most common interview question: why you? Or why should we choose you for this job? Now, this one is a tricky question to answer because you've just spent about 30 to 45, sometimes maybe an hour long talking exactly why they should hire you. You've just been talking about your skills and experience, so what else is there left to say? Well, the most important thing is to understand why hiring managers actually ask this question to begin with. If you've gotten to an interview stage, they've already considered, or they've already made the decision that your experience, qualifications, expertise are what fits this role. So answering this question is really an opportunity to set yourself apart and sort of bring more value to your paper application, and also set yourself apart from the 50, 100 plus other paper applications and other people and candidates that are going for this role. So tip number one is summarize. Answering this question is kind of like high school or university 101 conclusion paragraph, right? You don't want to be bringing in new information, or you don't want to be repeating too heavily the information that you've just discussed. You want to be adding value to it. So a little thing which is quite nice to start off with is beginning with, I understand you're after X, Y, and Z. Now, this is an opportunity to summarize your key experience and your technical abilities and skills in 30 seconds or 60 seconds maximum. So I might answer this question by beginning: so what I understand is you are looking for an experienced marketing coordinator with 3 to 5 years of experience. So as I would have mentioned in my covering my experience and my qualifications, I have 5 years experience worth of both public and private sector. Within this experience, I have worked across a number of different departments and a number of different businesses, which has given me the skill set to, speak to different audiences and different kind of sensitivities that come with those audiences. I am able to adapt to new branding style guides. My design skills have broadened because of that. You get the where I'm going with this. You just want to add value to what you've already said. Now, by using this technique of, I understand you're looking for X, Y, and Z, it not only summarizes your experience, but it also positions you as a problem solver. You have realized that this is exactly what they're after, and you're able to position yourself as the answer, which really positions you in a way that communicates that you really want this role and you have identified how you are the perfect fit for this role. So tip number 2, don't be modest. It feels weird to sell yourself, and I admit I have troubles doing it in interviews as well. But if there is a time to really, I suppose, toot your own horn, it's in an interview. So you want to be using really strong language, really strong descriptive language when talking about your experience. You want to be saying things like, I am confident in using different content management systems. I am highly skilled in my design experience. I'm passionate about continuous growth and development, and this is why my skills are so strong. Strong cross-cultural competency in my leadership. Really, harness the kind of training that you have had, not just your technical abilities. You want to be speaking to your soft skills and transferable skills as well. Number 3, and this is a tip that pretty much goes for anything to do with interviews or job applications: do your research. If you go into an interview without having done your research, without having trawled through their website or scrolled through their social media, it's unlikely that you're going to, set yourself with an advantage over other candidates. You want to be using information from your research. If you've seen that this particular company has a variety of projects, you speak to that. You say, I saw on your website you've won a successful bid, or you have just completed a project in X. I worked on a similar project as I described in my experience just earlier, or even just small things like going through their social media, and you can talk about how, I really value how you're on top of the market trends, you're speaking to the subjects that are, pertinent in the market at the moment. If you're going for an engineering role in Australia, you talk about how, I was scrolling through your social media the other day and I saw that you were talking about, all the new projects on the horizon, or the skills shortage, or the infrastructure, and I really value that about your company. You may also have a hiring manager who introduces the interview, giving you a little bit of information about the company. So you might have learned about, its history, where they came from. It will not only show that you're listening, but also that you've taken that on board and wow, that information that you gave me is really, turned notch and just increased my enthusiasm for wanting to, work here and be in this position. So definitely bring in those elements if you have the chance to do so. So by ending on something like this, you're really letting your hiring manager know that you really want this job at this company. It's why you're sitting here today in this seat, going for this interview, nervous as, but nevertheless still there. So some tips on a concluding note. Don't waffle, don't script your response. Remember, this is just a brief summary of your skills and experience that you've mentioned, using really strong descriptive language. Remember, it's about adding value and it's about setting yourself apart from all of the other candidates who are applying for the role. So that's a brief summary on how to answer the question, why should we hire you? Leave the interview giving them confidence, that you have the skill sets, you have the attitude, you've got the right intentions, and really just be personable. So thank you to everyone for watching. Again, if you aren't subscribing, hit subscribe on YouTube. If you're sitting here on LinkedIn, head over to YouTube. It's in the comments. We really love bringing you these tips and tricks, and we only have more to come. So that is a wrap, and we will see you next Tuesday.